basically, I don't want to say dumb, but distill it down to its simplest form so that people know what to do when they're on your website. So it should be very obvious what you want the customer to do when they land on your website, so that you can increase the percentage, the conversion rate of people that take that action. Welcome to the Digital Marketing Wingman podcast, the podcast where we bring you helpful tips and advice on websites, Google, and social media. Welcome back to the Digital Marketing Wingman podcast about all things Google, social media, digital marketing, and business and life. I'm joined today by Pixel's Marketing Director, Megan. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Now, today we're going to talk websites, and rather than embarrassingly interview myself, Megan's going to hit me up with some questions around websites, maybe SEO in there,
A little bit.
bit of everything, but it's completely off the cuff, so I do not know what the questions are yet. So hopefully that makes it good.
Yeah.
Or really bad, one of the two.
All right. Let's start with, what are some of the main issues that clients come to you with about their website? What kind of problems are they having?
Probably the main problem that comes up is that they cannot be found in Google. So pretty common one, that they've got this website, they've had it built by somebody, a friend of a friend, or a guy in Sydney is a common one, and it doesn't rank. And they look at it and they compare it to all the other websites, their competitors, for the terms, all the sites that are coming up for the terms that they want to rank for, and they can't see why theirs isn't anywhere to be found. That's the main problem.
Is there a couple of main things that would be happening to their website, or is it a number of things?
A lot of the time it's just a lack of direction. So they haven't actually focused their website on a particular topic or a particular keyword. So they've gone and put words on a page, but they haven't really mapped out what it is they want to rank for. They just assume that if I set up a website about plumbing, that they'll rank automatically for any word related to plumbing, and they haven't really worked with somebody that understands, oh no, hang on a minute, you actually need to go in depth with the content on the website. You need to have service pages that target some of these keywords, and then your homepage broadly targets plumbing in general, not necessarily hot water services or tap repairs. So you might need specific service pages for those things. So they haven't really had that education, that experience yet to know that they need to provide lots of information and good information to be found.
Yeah. So other than if people aren't ranking on Google, are there any other indicators that might tell someone that they need to have a look at their website or update their website?
Look, another one is that you might have a website and it looks amazing. You've had it beautifully designed. Maybe there is some okay content on there, and maybe you've used a copywriter, but you're still not getting customers. You might be getting traffic, but you're not actually getting customers or leads, inquiries. That's a really common one. And again, they haven't gone through that process of identifying what do you actually want the customer to do. And it's a lot of the principles and philosophies of web design are actually very literal and straightforward, and basically, I don't want to say dumb, but distill it down to its simplest form so that people know what to do when they're on your website. So it should be very obvious what you want the customer to do when they land on your website, so that you can increase the percentage, the conversion rate of people that take that action.
Okay. What would a business owner decide to, would a business owner come to you and say, can you build me a new website, or can you do a rebuild? What's the difference between those two?
So there is a bit of an analogy I use when I get inquiries, is that it's hard for me to come in, if you're a builder building a house for somebody and they came to you with a house that was already built and you didn't like it. You're like, this house sucks. I need it fixed. I need a better house. I need it to look better. I need it to work better. I need it to be more reliable. I need it to be safe, all those things. But just take what I've got and fix it for me. That's a common request, and it's very hard for us to come in and do that without spending an enormous amount of time. And so inevitably, a rebuild is effectively a new site. Majority of the time, it's better to start from scratch and build things up from scratch so that you've got the foundations right from a technical standpoint. The code is clean, it's fast. You've got all of the structure that you need from a coding perspective so that you can rank on Google. You get the opportunity to structure the content and really think of the customer and build it with the ideal customer in mind. So it's just better sometimes just to rebuild, but rebuild really means build a new website. Yeah.
Okay. And you mentioned earlier about process.
Mm-hmm.
What do Pixel do as a process for a website build?
So it all starts, I guess, in the very start. When we first have a conversation with a potential customer, we're trying to discover what problem is it that they're trying to solve. So is it that they've got a lack of customers? Is it they've got a lack of visibility? Is it they're getting the wrong type of customer? If we can identify those problems, we can then plan and design a solution that'll solve that. If the goal is just to make a pretty website, yeah, sure, we can do that any day of the week. That's easy. That's the easy part. And I always say Nick does a fantastic job of designing sites. So that's the absolute easiest part of the equation. I can guarantee you that we'll design a beautiful website, but it's the other side of it that maybe you haven't considered is the tangible goals from a business perspective. They're the things that we want to identify in the planning stage. So we go through this planning stage. We have a questionnaire that we ask our clients to fill out before we get started, and when we have a kickoff meeting, and we do a bit of a deep dive into what they've been doing so far and how it's been performing, and then what they want to get out of it. And an interesting, I call it a game that I like, is to try and, again, not dumb, distill down a business's products or services down to its simplest form. And that's a common issue or common problem. And the bigger the business, the more challenging it can be, is trying to simplify what you offer down so that it's easy to navigate. People can find it and understand exactly what you do straight away. But that also helps Google. If people can understand it, that means Google can understand it. So you don't need to get cute or quirky or cool with what you're offering. Just distill it down to its simplest form. Then we go into a design phase, and we're designing. Usually, the first page is the home page, but we'll design key pages. We'll design some mobile views and go back and forth with that. And then once that's signed off by the client, we'll go into a build phase, and that's when all of the different components of the website are coming together. So it might be, we've got the photographer on site taking photos, we've got copywriters working on the content, we've got the web team actually coding it up and building the website, the server's getting prepared to launch it, we're grabbing their domain name, and everything's getting pulled together. And I guess that's the most critical part, is that at that stage we want everybody to work in unison and have a good plan in place, a good schedule, so that we can stay on track. And then we schedule a launch date. And we've only got one rule at Pixel: never launch a website on a Friday. So we don't get calls all weekend or something going wrong over the weekend. But to be honest, that's never happened. Like, the launch process is very smooth. We have a checklist pre-launch and post-launch, and it's literally hundreds of items that we check.
Wow.
At launch. So it's pretty perfected. I've probably been involved in around at least 1,000 websites in my career.
Wow.
And just to get a process that makes that repeatable, seamless, it's been good.
So you've talked a little bit about these two things, SEO and user experience. What's more important?
Chicken or the egg? User experience breeds SEO. If the user experience is good, the SEO will follow. If you just try to optimize for SEO, you're basically shooting yourself in the foot. If you're trying to game the system and just focus on technical intricacies of how Google might index your page, and nobody really knows, right? So you're just guessing, but you can try and trick things and stuff keywords in, or overuse words or overuse headings or different tags. Sure, you might get some success out of doing that. But if you just focus on the user experience, the user, just the user and what they want to get out of coming to your website, then over time, Google will build this historical profile of how they've interacted with your website and the sites that people engage with, that people hang around on, that they dive into multiple pages, and then they convert, they're the pages that Google are going to rank in the long term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In your experience at Pixeled, have you found that the Google algorithm updates have impacted traffic to the websites that you've built here?
This is like super controversial, and I'm sure if anyone in the industry might be like, oh God, really? I don't care about the Google algorithm updates. The Google algorithm updates do not affect me in any way because they are designed to stop people that are doing the bad tactics, the tricks, the gamifying the system. They're trying to push out loads of rubbish content, content with lots of stuffed keywords, all the tricks basically. They're trying to cut out people from doing tricks so that they can get to the genuinely good results.
Yeah.
If you're focused solely on the user and genuinely good results anyway from the get-go, there's no algorithm update that will ever affect that.
Yeah.
So user first, always user first.
That was a little bit of a loaded question because when I started working here, I had a look at, we use Moz, and I did not see not one blip in any of our clients' websites.
I mean, you might see absolutely minor. I mean, like all rankings fluctuate, right?
Yeah.
No matter what. So
Yeah.
no matter how good you are, you'll see your graph is never completely linear. So you will see updates. And then sometimes an algorithm update might affect a site unintentionally, but then it will recover quickly.
Yeah.
Whereas the ones that are seriously impacted by it, they don't ever come back, kind of thing. So it's okay if an update changes things on your website, or it's okay if you have a fluctuation in rankings. But long term, you've got to zoom out. It's like anything, and it's hard sometimes for clients, especially if they work with an agency for the first time. They zoom in right in and want results within a 1 month time frame,
Yes.
or even a 3 month time frame is very hard. 6 months, maybe.
Yeah.
But if you can zoom out to a 12-month strategy and trust somebody good to work on your SEO strategy for 12 months or more, that's when you can see results that are meaningful.
Yeah.
Anything less than that, you are probably just making rash decisions that haven't had a chance to be fully tested.
Yeah. What are some of the things, or even is there something that frustrates you about the industry or website building or anything?
For a long time, and probably part of why I have my own agency, there's a lot of web developers in quotation marks out there that build websites that don't really know how websites are built. They use page builders or plugins or themes to build websites, and I guess it's okay. But as somebody who sort of knew how things were coded and could get under the hood, so to speak, and get things working how I wanted, we see a lot of clients that come to us. They hit a wall. They're working with somebody, and then that person's clearly reached their technical limitation, and they just ghosted the client, and things have gone to hell basically. So that is frustrating from an industry perspective. That it's so easy now for anyone to become a web developer. That you don't really need to have any knowledge. As long as you can use a computer and run a few tutorials, then you're off and running. Yeah. Which is fine on a lower level, but when you get to business level and you people are investing a serious amount of money, and we see some people charge phenomenal amounts of money for websites but that can't code, that's pretty frustrating. On the client side, I sort of hinted at before, like businesses that are a bit larger, sometimes it can be more challenging to get them to distill down their business, what they offer. And when you're working with larger organisations and there's many stakeholders, it can be hard for them to get to a single consensus of what's most important. Yep. And I'm always pitching customer is most important. Of course, that's my mantra. But we quite often get into arguments with HR departments. No, employing new staff is the most important, or a particular service over all other services. And so I do my best now. We've sort of changed our process a little bit. Well, we don't get involved in those arguments. Well, we basically position our methodology or our philosophy on that, and then let them duke it out on their own and come back to us with an answer. Yeah.
One last question. It's about HubSpot and building websites within HubSpot. Have you done that before? What are the benefits of doing that?
Yeah, so HubSpot CMS, or it's now called Content Hub, it's an interesting platform because it makes editing and adding pages to a website very easy for clients, not necessarily for us, but for clients. And I would have said that was the case for WordPress years ago, because I've come from building websites 25 years ago where we had to build our own custom content management system where they could just basically change the title and the text, but very little options. And then WordPress changed the game for me, I'm going to say 15 years ago, something like that. And it's evolved, and it's almost become a little bit too complex now for people to use, because there's so many options and things now that a website must have. So HubSpot's kind of bridging this new gap for marketers or marketing professionals within a company or business owners to make it very easy to edit their website. There's some amazing new AI tools to help them generate content. So if you wanted to write blogs or change content on a page, very quickly you can write down some notes and it will spin up content. It saves your brand's tone of voice, so it just knows how to talk like you. So they're all very cool tools, but the real benefit to building a website on HubSpot is the fact that it's piggybacked on the CRM, which is the customer relationship management side of the tool. So your database of all of your users are stored in HubSpot, and you can then show personalize the experience based on who they are in your database, what they've done in the past, what information you have on them. So an example might be if we had an ebook that we offered for download and we asked them, what type of user are you, and are you a business owner or a marketing professional? It means that from that point on, after they've filled out that form, I can show them things on my website that are specifically for them, not just my broad general marketing content. I can talk directly to the business owner and show them all of the benefits as a business owner. So that sort of hyper-personalisation of the website, that's a big thing. I don't know any other platform that does that as well as HubSpot. And they're saying now that mobile websites were the thing of the last 10 years. Everyone had to be mobile, but now that's absolutely bog standard. Yes. Every website is mobile, so that's not even a conversation we have anymore. The next conversation will be, is your website piggybacking off of a CRM to provide a truly personalised experience? That's going to be the future of website development.
Amazing. I said that was the last question, but I just remembered something you said before. You said the word guarantee. Do you offer a guarantee on, website performance?
Performance, absolutely. So this is sort of new for Pixel, but we're offering a guarantee for visibility of a website. We're pretty sure of ourselves now. We've been in business for a while now and built, as I said, probably over 1,000 websites at least. And so we're offering a guarantee that we will get this site to grow. We will get more visibility to your website, i.e. more page views on your website, because we've got a proven process. We've been through it many times. We know how to get the site's content structured correctly, get it indexed for Google, but get it indexed for users, make it easy for people to find, and that will spread. Word will spread online and offline, and we just guarantee that you're going to grow.
Cool. Thanks.
No
That was
worries.
awesome.
Thanks, Megan.
No worries.